Not every dead town is empty, and not every busy town is truly alive. In Michigan, there are two types of towns we're talking about. The first, true ghost towns, places that have been abandoned, leaving only buildings, ruins, and a name on the map. The second is much quieter, small towns that still have residents, but have already lost their future. This list includes both. It's not a story about sudden destruction. It's about how a town gets left behind slowly, often without the people still living there even realizing it. If you want to know which towns are already dead and which are just waiting their turn, let's begin. First, we landed in Mandan. This isn't a town that's going to be abandoned. It's already finished. Mandan was born in the late 19th century as a copper mining company town, fully dependent on one mining operation. As long as the mine ran, Mandan lived. Once the mine shut down, the town instantly lost its reason to exist. There was no diversification, no port, no tourism coming to save it. Within a few years, people left, homes were torn down or collapsed, and Mandan vanished from everyday life. Today, all that remains are foundation traces, ruins, and roads that end in the woods, more like an archaeological site than a town. Singapore disappeared because nature helped close the curtain. This small town stood on the shore of Lake Michigan in the 19th century as a port town and logging hub. Trees were cut quickly, money flowed fast, and Singapore grew rapidly, but its foundation was fragile. The problem was, the town was built on sand dunes. Once the surrounding forests were cleared, wind from the lake was no longer blocked. Slowly, the dunes began to shift. Houses, shops, even roads started to get buried. As the timber industry collapsed, nature finished the job. People left one by one until Singapore was completely swallowed by sand. The town's remains still lie beneath the dunes of Sleeping Bear. In certain conditions, ruins sometimes reappear, then vanish again. Meanwhile, Shelldrake died because it ran out of reasons to survive. This small town sat on the coast of Whitefish Bay, Lake Superior, as a lumber town and small port in the late 19th century. As long as the forest stood, Shelldrake lived. Once the trees were gone, the town's pulse quickly faded. Shelldrake never had a large population or strong infrastructure. It was too small to adapt and too remote to attract new industry. Fires and harsh Lake Superior weather sped up its fall. Slowly, businesses closed, homes were left behind, and Shelldrake disappeared without any dramatic ending. Today, Shelldrake barely looks like a town. What's left are the traces of a place, local stories, and a quiet shoreline, more a dot on a historic map than a living settlement. If Shelldrake faded slowly, then Fayette stopped living almost all at once. This town was built in the mid-19th century as an iron-smelting industrial town on the shore of Michigan's Garden Peninsula. Fayette was a pure company town. Homes, stores, even the church existed only to serve one factory. While the smelting operation ran, Fayette seemed prosperous. But once production costs rose and competition grew, the company shut the plant down. Without the industry, the whole town lost its purpose within months. People left, buildings were abandoned, and Fayette froze in time. Unlike many other towns, Fayette wasn't torn down. Its stone and wooden buildings were left standing, making it one of Michigan's most intact ghost towns. Today, Fayette State Historic Park shows a town that looks ready to live in, though it's been empty for over a century. Pere Cheney collapsed from something much quieter and more frightening. This small town grew as a lumber town in the late 19th century, relying on logging and rail lines. Then came disease. Diphtheria and other contagious illnesses of that era spread fast, killing many children and families. In a small community, the impact felt brutal. Fear spreads faster than the sickness. People began to leave, schools closed, and when the lumber industry also declined, there was no reason to return. Pere Cheney didn't fall in one big event, but was abandoned emotionally. Today, there is no active town, just a small cemetery in the woods, with children's gravestones standing as silent witnesses to the community's downfall. Interestingly, the place is now better known for ghost stories, even though its collapse was entirely real and tragic. After towns like Pere Cheney that were truly abandoned, Harrison shows a quieter phase, a town that still exists but is getting harder to sustain. Harrison is often listed as one of the poorest towns in Michigan, and the numbers back it up. The median household income is only about $39,000 per year, far below Michigan's average, which now exceeds $70,000. Around 25% of residents live below the poverty line, more than twice the state average. Its economy depends on low-wage jobs and seasonal sectors, small retail, local services, and some recreation-based activity. For young people, this means limited choices. Many leave for school or work and don't return. Those who stay are an aging population, low-cost housing, and a downtown that struggles to keep businesses running. Mio faces a more fundamental problem: scale and isolation. This small town sits in the heart of the northeastern Lower Peninsula forest, far from any major economic center. Its population is small and keeps shrinking, while job opportunities are limited almost entirely to forestry, local services, and seasonal work. Economically, Mio sits in a fragile position. Median household income hovers in the low $40,000 per year, still well below the Michigan average. The narrow job options mean young people almost always leave, for college, work, or just to find a life that doesn't stop in one place. What remains is a small aging community, low-cost housing, and a downtown that merely gets by. If Mio is too small and isolated, then Ontonagon is isolated both geographically and structurally. This small town on the shore of Lake Superior once thrived on its port, forestry, and light industry. But as those economic pathways weakened, Ontonagon didn't have strong enough alternatives to replace them. Today, Ontonagon still exists. Stores are still open, homes still occupied, but its economic pulse is slow. The population is aging, young people leave, and job options are limited to public sector roles, local services, and seasonal work. Median household income is in the low to mid-range, far from what's seen in growing towns, while its distance from economic hubs makes industrial relocation nearly impossible. Once, Flint was the center of the American automotive revolution, nicknamed Vehicle City for its major role as a General Motors hub and auto industry base in the 20th century. After the auto sector drastically shrank, those numbers collapsed, and the economic troubles didn't stop there. In 2014, Flint gained national attention due to the toxic water crisis, where thousands of children were exposed to lead from contaminated drinking water caused by poor management decisions. The impact on public health was major and led many families to consider leaving the city. Flint's socioeconomic condition shows empty neighborhoods, many abandoned houses, and widespread urban blight, especially near the long-dead industrial zones. Some blocks now resemble small urban ghost towns, with former homes and businesses boarded up or overgrown with weeds. The population decline is reflected in housing stats. In some zip codes, over 30% of homes sit vacant, marking a real and ongoing resident exodus. If Flint collapsed because of one major crisis that shook the nation, Inkster fell apart quietly. There was no toxic water, no global headlines, just a slow erosion that led residents to leave one by one. At one point, Inkster was on the verge of a serious budget crisis, nearly losing control of basic public services. Inkster grew as a satellite city of Detroit, fueled by auto factories, logistics warehouses, and blue-collar jobs. When those industries shrank, Inkster had no plan B. The result is clear today. The population has dropped sharply since its peak. Median household income is far below the Michigan average, and poverty remains high. Crime rates, especially property and violent crime, are above the state average, pushing young families to move to other suburbs. Meanwhile, the Keweenaw Peninsula is a region living at the edge of time. This was once the heart of Michigan's copper mining history, a place where wealth once flowed, then completely stopped. When the mines shut down, Keweenaw didn't collapse all at once. It shrank, aged, and was slowly left behind. Keweenaw is unique because in one small region, you see the full spectrum of town decline. There are true ghost towns like Mandan, Clifton, and Central Mine, places that are completely done, no longer lived in. There are also towns like Amique and Mohawk, which still exist administratively but are nearly dead in function. Giant buildings sit empty, populations number in the hundreds, and the future is rarely discussed. Many homes in Keweenaw are now owned as second homes or seasonal properties, not full-time residences. It means the region still exists, but no longer as a place to truly live year-round. Calumet is the clearest symbol of that paradox. This town was once the world's largest and richest copper mining hub. At its peak in the early 20th century, Calumet was a small cosmopolitan city. Grand theaters, opera houses, large hotels, and streets filled with European immigrants. Then the mines closed. And when the mining stopped, the future stopped too. Unlike Mandan or Central Mine, which vanished completely, Calumet didn't die. Its big buildings are still standing. Many look far too grand for the town today. But that's exactly the issue. Many structures are empty or half-used, and the downtown feels like a museum of daily life, not a living economy. Young people leave, the population ages, and the town's function keeps shrinking. Interestingly, Calumet today is better known as a historic destination than a place to build a new life. If Calumet lost its future when the mines shut down, then Manistique slowly ran out of energy after the timber and paper industries declined. This small town on the shore of Lake Michigan once lived off factories, a small port, and the railroad. As long as the industrial machines kept running, Manistique had a reason to stay alive. Today, that reason is fading. Some industrial facilities have closed or downsized, jobs are narrowing, and young people are choosing to leave. Visually, Manistique still looks normal. Homes are occupied, stores are open, but beneath that, the population is stagnant, the downtown is fragile, and the economy leans on just a few sectors: local services, public employment, and limited tourism. Then there's Lawns, holding on with shallow breath due to its size and limitations. This small town on the shore of Keweenaw Bay, Lake Superior, once survived through its port, logging, and local administrative roles. To this day, Lawns still functions, but its role is narrow. Lawns' economy relies on public sector jobs, basic services, and a bit of port activity. The population hasn't collapsed, but it's shrinking slowly, a classic sign of a town that's not growing, yet not dead. Interestingly, Lawns is often called the gateway to Baraga County and surrounding communities. But being a gateway doesn't always mean being a destination. Many people pass through, few settle. Long winters and the isolation of the Upper Peninsula make long-term living here even harder. Among the small towns of the Upper Peninsula, Baraga is one of the most economically fragile. This town survives not because of growth, but because there's nowhere else to go. With a median household income around $39,000 per year, Baraga falls far behind Michigan's median, which has now passed $70,000. That number alone explains why options here feel so limited. Jobs are mostly in public services, local businesses, limited forestry, and small economic activities that circulate within the same community. The poverty rate sits around 18%, which is high for a town this small, reinforcing a familiar pattern. Young people leave, the population ages, and the economy stays stuck. Baraga is not a ghost town today, but with low income and a narrow economy, it's very close to the slowly abandoned phase.